up, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel, iCubed. Interested, informed, inspired is the #1 place for overworked and underpaid millennials like myself looking for encouragement that isn't your typical run-of-the-mill preachy self-help advice. Fresh new takes on topics that may be considered overly debated, but which I happen to find interesting, and of course, in typical Yaya fashion, I gotta tell a few anecdotes about Cameroon, where I was born. Today, we're not talking about Cameroon though.
God damn it!
We're talking instant gratification, not numbers of likes on Facebook or Instagram, but this culture of wanting it now. Overnight success. Now, make no mistake, there is no such thing as overnight success.
You says that way?
I don't care what anybody says. This image says it all. Yes, some might have a slight advantage over others, whether it be having more connections to get them into a job, or more money to bribe college admissions to get their kids in, but I don't think there's such a thing as overnight success. And in any case, that isn't the direction I want to go with this video. And by the way, if there really is such a thing as overnight success, chances are it won't last. Easy come, easy go, like Bohemian Rhapsody. Now moving right along. Now this video is sort of a piggyback of my last sit down video, the one that I did on productivity hacks. You can call it an unplanned follow-up video. Now that video would have been 10 minutes too long had I discussed this in that video. But I have wanted to do a video about this ever since I saw that video by Sinek in which he discusses millennials in the workplace. Here's a clip from it in case you haven't seen it.
So you have a generation growing up with lower self-esteem that doesn't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. Now you add in the sense of impatience. They've grown up in a world of instant gratification. You want to buy something, you go on Amazon, it arrives the next day. You want to watch a movie? Log on and watch a movie. You don't check movie times. You want to watch a TV show? Binge. You don't even have to wait week to week to week, right? I know people who skip seasons just so they can binge at the end of the season, right? Instant gratification. You want to go on a date? You don't even have to learn how to be like, hey. You don't even have to learn and practice that skill. You don't have to be the uncomfortable one who says yes when you mean no and says no when you mean no, but yes when you... You don't have to swipe right. Bang, I'm a stud. Right? You don't have to learn the social coping mechanisms. Everything you want, you can have instantaneously. Everything you want, instant gratification. Except job satisfaction and strength of relationships, there ain't no app for that. They are slow, meandering, uncomfortable, messy processes. And so I keep meeting these wonderful, fantastic, idealistic, hardworking, smart kids. They've just graduated school. They're in their entry-level job. I sit down with them and I go, how's it going? They go, I think I'm going to quit. I'm like, why? They're like, I'm not making an impact. I'm like, you've been here 8 months. You know? It's as if they're standing at the foot of a mountain and they have this abstract concept called impact that they want to have in the world, which is the summit. What they don't see is the mountain. I don't care if you go up the mountain quickly or slowly, but there's still a mountain. And so what this young generation needs to learn is patience. That some things that really, really matter, like love, or job fulfillment, joy, love of life, self-confidence, a skill set, any of these things, all of these things take time. Sometimes you can expedite pieces of it, but the overall journey is arduous and long and difficult. And if you don't ask for help and learn that skill set, you will fall off the mountain.
I will link that video in the description box down below in case you wanted to watch the entire thing. I think it's very interesting and apparently ruffled a lot of millennial feathers. My feathers were not ruffled though, but it was this other video that really gave me the push to make this video. Now I had mentioned her 3 or 4 videos ago in my latest YouTube channels I'm obsessed with video. Take a look at this.
I always say I'm in my seed planting phase where I'm planting seeds. I'm, developing streams of income, but are they full-blown streams of income? No, not all of them. So, it's just a matter of having patience and exercising that patience and knowing that the fruits of your labor will harvest at some point, but you just have to keep working. Even if you don't see the results that you hope for or you wanted right away, but knowing that the work and the time and the effort that you're putting in is not in vain, and let God work in his timing, and just keep working and praying and doing what you got to do to get to where you trying to go.
I was like, I felt that in my spirit. And that's exactly how I've been feeling lately. And I am 99.9% sure that a lot of you have felt that way at one point or another. Or you're probably feeling that way right now. Like, how much longer will this take? I've been patient and consistent and just planting seeds. But I don't see any growth, or the growth is very slow. Meanwhile, everyone else is flourishing, or seems to be. And I have I have two things to say about that. Stop comparing yourself to other people and just water your own plants and put it in sunlight. Refer back to my very first video of this year where I talk about the 3 C's: comparing, criticizing, and complaining. Now, there's this quote by Robin Roberts that I like to refer back to. Now, I'm not sure if it's originally hers or if she got it from someplace else, but she mentioned it during an episode of Oprah's Masterclass. Now, here's a clip from that episode.
God has 3 answers to prayer. Yes, not yet, and I have something even better in mind. And that's what I always like the third one. I always feel there is something better in mind. And I feel that for others too, that the best is yet to come. And it takes courage to believe that the best is yet to come.
Now, I have some personal experience with this. Now, the one that comes to mind immediately is that time in high school when I was not able to make it on a field trip to 106 and Park and my senior class trip to Universal Studios. So for those of you who are new to this channel, I came to the US back in 2001 when I was 13, and they started me off in 9th grade. Now, all through high school, I went to every single class trip that was organized. In 9th grade, we went to Dorney Park. In 10th grade, we went to Six Flags Great Adventures in New Jersey. In 11th grade, we went to some resort in the Poconos, which was quite boring. And then the big daddy, the senior class trip to Universal Studios here in Florida. That trip was over $800. $800 I did not have. $800 my mom was not about to give me for some trip. So how was I going to finance this trip to Universal? Get a summer job. A summer job that I could not find. Nowhere I applied seemed to be hiring that summer. I even applied to Wendy's against my better judgment only because my brother worked there and they still didn't hire me.
Girl, I don't know why.
They weren't hiring either. Senior year came around and I still hadn't found a job. Now, prior to this senior trip to Universal Studios, we had a small field trip to 106 and Park. Now, if you're not familiar, 106 and Park airs on BET, and it's a countdown music video show, unlike TRL on MTV, that featured top requested popular music videos. Now, that trip to 106 and Park was only $40, but it was limited seating. I did not even have the $40. Even if I paid that $40, I probably wouldn't have gotten to go because it was a whole popularity contest. In any case, the first $40 to pay went off to the show, and that happened to be the show that rapper Ludacris was on to promote his new album. And bonus, he gave everyone in the audience free iPods. Now remember, this is back in 2005, before you could play music on iTunes on your iPhone, so it was a big deal. And oh, I was so salty and mad at my mom for not giving me that $40. I got a job a few months later, but I had missed the deadline for paying for this Universal trip by a whole month. And once again, had to sit back and watch my classmates who had paid for this Universal trip go on this trip for 5 days, while the rest of us still had to show up to school and sit in half-empty classrooms and find something to occupy our time with.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Fast forward 5 years later, I got to attend a studio taping of the Oprah show in its last season while attending grad school in Chicago. While the show that I attended wasn't one of those where she gave away free stuff, I still got to see Oprah in person and check that off my bucket list. So in other words, I got a better deal. Oprah show, 106 and Park. Yeah, Oprah show. And now I currently live in Florida, and so I could go to Universal Studios or Disney or Busch Gardens literally whenever I want and not have to pay $800. Now turning the page, though still the same book. Let's talk instant gratification, finally, and the opposite of it, which is patience. Not patience when it comes to, say, waiting in a long line at Starbucks or in traffic, which isn't unimportant, but patience when it comes to seeing results for something you've been working so hard on for ages. And when I say results, I mean monetary. Now, in one of my recent videos, I talked very briefly about being able to make money on this here platform, but I didn't go into a lot of details because it's a bit technical, quite frankly, and a topic for a whole other video. Now, there are several YouTube videos on this particular topic if you're interested in knowing more. Now, my channel isn't yet at the point where I can start generating revenue. I know some people wanted to know but didn't quite know how to ask me, so there's your answer. So I was having a conversation with a coworker about my YouTube channel a while ago. He had asked me if I was still making YouTube videos because he had seen a few of my videos that I had posted on Facebook. FYI, I post my YouTube videos on Facebook and on Instagram to get more eyeballs on them. I said, yes, I'm still making YouTube videos, but the growth of my channel isn't as fast as I would have liked it to be. Then this man has the nerve to tell me that there's this place in Thailand or Philippines or someplace where I can buy subscribers. No fam, I'm good. I am paying nobody to watch my videos. Then he goes on to say that I can use the picture of a model he knows in my thumbnails as clickbait so I can get more views. Apparently, integrity doesn't matter to him, but it does to me. So I had to school this man on how audience retention here on YouTube works. Number of views does not matter as much as how long people are watching your videos for. Are they watching your entire video or are they clicking off after like 10 seconds? As well-intentioned as his suggestions might have been, they were shady and deceptive. And it could work in the short term, but not in the long run. There is no shortcut to success, whatever success means to you. No get-rich-quick scheme or overnight success. There is having a vision or a dream, taking action, working hard, and having faith that you will see returns eventually. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that notification bell for my next video on Tuesday. And have a great day, morning, or whenever you're watching this video. Deuces.